To me, Wake Up the World means to draw people's attention to an important need in the community.
For me, Wake Up the World was finding help out there for families that needed help with apraxia.
To me, Wake Up the World revolves around the idea of realizing that there's a problem in the world and bringing attention to that problem through one's actions.
For me, that was giving voice to individuals diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and their families.
In our house, it was how do you give families access to physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, where are the routes for them to find that, how do we point them in the right direction to then get their child treatment.
For me personally, I've had the opportunity to witness this in so many different people through their work at their respective organizations.
Alzheimer's disease is a disease of the brain. As neurons are damaged in the brain, people lose their memory and cognitive abilities. My job at the Alzheimer's Association involved designing and facilitating groups for individuals who had Alzheimer's and also for their families. I always tried to follow where the individuals in the group who had Alzheimer's were leading me. And that's how I began to change and make it change how people thought in the community and in the bigger picture in the nation and even in the world. I remember someone with the disease saying to me over dinner one time about how they felt losing their cognitive abilities. They described it as if they were a candle. I feel like a candle that was about 8 feet tall and burning brightly. And every year it was smaller and smaller and smaller. In the end, there will just be a tiny piece of all the things that I can do, but I believe my spirit will be burning as bright.
Last summer, I had the tremendous opportunity to work with my grandma at the Alzheimer's Association. I saw firsthand the impact that she had on those people affected by the disease and their loved ones. I think that through Sally's work at the association and through everybody's work, this has really brought a lot of attention to the disease and how it can be cured in the future.
Apraxia of speech is a neurological disorder. The words are formed in the brain perfectly, but on the route to the mouth, they get jumbled and unintelligible. When Dylan was born, he seemed to be developing normally, but as he got older, it was quite obvious when I would take him out in public that he was not where other kids were at the same age. There was a lot of frustration. He would be communicating with me, but we would not be able to understand what he was saying. I started the support group 12 years ago. At that time, Dylan was 3, and I felt that I had a good handle on getting him treatment. I knew that it was a lot of speech therapy, and my husband and I spoke about it and thought that it might be good to get the other families together in Lorain County. I had a pretty large network at that time of speech therapists and other families that I had met, so I was able to get the word out there. At this point, there are 78 families in the group. It's been 12 years. Most of them have been there since the beginning. Some of the newer families come on when their child is age 2 or 3 and really need a lot of help with a speech therapist, finding the right doctor for a diagnosis. When Dylan was first diagnosed at age 2, there weren't many resources back then. No one knew what apraxia was, and my husband and I were searching. The internet was new back then. Trying to find answers and find the right direction was very difficult. Today, there is an Apraxia Kids website. It has a lot of information on it. If you click on that under support groups in Ohio, I will come up. I also have quite a network in this area of special needs preschools, speech therapists. They often will give my name out. Friends will hear of me and will contact me. I like the fact that families can find me and speak to me and I can point them in the right direction. I think it helps them be a little bit less overwhelmed. Oftentimes they will contact me with a note or an email after the fact, just very grateful that I was able to help them at that time, to give them some hope and help their family come to the right answer for them.
Throughout the years, I've had the opportunity to work with my mom, Julie, with her support group. And I think that when families join the support group, it's a big relief for them because now they have access to all this information. I think that my volunteer work along with my grandmas and my moms has really woken up the world to both Alzheimer's disease and Apraxia disorder, and has really changed the world's perspective on how they can help bring an end to both Alzheimer's and Apraxia.